And just like that, we're live. We got Babs in the building, people. Deluded. I'm back again. International break or not, I'm committed to bringing you a lot of great content. And I've got an A-lister. You saying, my guy? Good. You've been doing the rounds today.
A-lister, bro. We're in
Hello,
the
you're
great.
A-lister, man.
We're in the good section of the side tier list, bro. We've been relegated down there, bro. We're back in the mud. Nah, bro. Appreciate the invite as always. Hope you're well.
I'm good, my guy, man. You know what? I was gonna ask you about that because people did ask me on my last stream, yeah, to ask you that. What did you make? What do you make generally of the tier list and all the stuff with it? Because it's for me, it's made shout out Faz and Saeed, but for me, it's their opinion, isn't it? It's made more noise than I would have thought. Maybe everyone's bored.
Yeah, I think international break content you don't do it during the season, but to be honest, I think I saw a comment and I agreed with it. It was like it's kind of friends rating friends as well. So you can't be impartial. What I'd love to see is someone who's outside our space, who doesn't collab with any of us, and doesn't know us, just looks at our content, goes, this is the best, this is the worst, this is what he produces. But yeah, I think some of the goats I agree with, some of them I don't. I don't think I put Rance anywhere near GOAT, to be honest. I think because I'm more of a content producer stuff. I think Rance is probably more in terms of ball knowledge wise. He's got his obviously his thing.
Nah, Rance a goat, man. Rance a goat. I can't lie to you.
Now, when I say goats, I see people that like I'm trying to aspire to be one of the goats, and I think these guys are so good that even you find hard. So the goats for me are AFTV, United Stand, Expressions, people that I think are just either multi-talented or have done it for so long. I think Rance has got his talent in terms of analysis wise, but content wise, I don't think it's amazing, right? I would have put myself in, well, I'll go anywhere near that. Maybe good / elite. Maybe. Just that's where for numbers wise, but I thought I can improve quite a lot. But I think side wise as well, he's done it well for the last year or two. But I think when I say GOATs, as I said, Expressions has done it for so much longer. And likewise AFTV dot. So he'd be put below that. But talent wise is there. But it's weird because some people they're based off ball knowledge, then some people more of comedic value. Then some people more of content. So it's like you can't change for each person to put them up or down. Because if you go with ball knowledge, a lot of us be at the bottom, and you put people that obviously it's people more like yourself right at the top. But then there's content production as well. There's different sides of it, but it's caused a lot of controversy. But yeah, I don't know. I did find it a bit annoying. I was like, oh, these men have put me in there. I was like,
yeah, no, I even said it when I did my reaction. You know me, I'm not one that I don't really care about all this gossips kind of stuff. I don't really watch what other people are doing. As you've kind of alluded to it, like everyone's judged on different metrics, isn't it? Some people got the full package, some are more ball knowledge, some are more banter. I think everybody's a goat in their own way. You know what you're doing, forget football or your Arsenal content or whatever, yeah. We're in a space that celebrates diversity. You're a man, you have two eyes, two hands like everyone. You've built something for yourself, you know, to see where you've started. Because, you know, I've known you for a minute, innit? Not just you, but everybody at AFTV. To see what you're doing and what you're doing. And definitely, obviously, I've got you on Snapchat to see the things you're doing. It fills you with pride. And for me, myself, like, you've done a lot for me, helping me behind the scenes. And you can do this, you could do that. So I appreciate that. And I think everybody, for that reason, is a GOAT. Because everyone forgets, everybody started from humble beginnings. And they're doing stuff like everybody. It's like TV, bro. If you want to watch banter, you're gonna watch XYZ. If you want something else, you're gonna watch XYZ. Some people can do it all, some people can't. And I disagree with you in the sense of I think everybody's a GOAT in their own way, bro. Not you, Mark, because you're your own person. From what I've seen you do to what you're doing now and climbing, it's amazing. I think people don't give Rance his flowers because he rubs people up the wrong way. But also, what you look at what he's done before YouTube and the fact that he's accumulated that fan base, I think Lee's a GOAT. I think everybody. I think I'm a GOAT in my own way. I think you are as well. I think everybody is, man. Saeed, anyone who's it's not even for me. I think it gets to numbers and all that stuff is relevant, bro. But I think that is one thing and it plays a part. But you need to, I also think about like what you're standing for, what you've done. Everybody's journey is different. Some people have had harder lives than others. It's like football, innit? The way Mo Salah got to be a Premier League player is very different from a Jamie Vardy or whatever. And I disagreed with two things, mainly with Saeed and Faz. A bunch of things. I think I'll have underrated. I don't really care if I'm rated or not rated. I'll have that. I didn't understand the AFTV thing, you know, the AFTVs, the goal bridges, etc. Them kind of man there. You can underrate, you cannot like them. You can, as a person, I don't know about all of that. You cannot rate them as people, but what they've done and the doors they've burst and people that have come through them and from a business point of view, they've employed stuff. Exactly, and I
said work there myself, so I can never sit here and go, yeah. Like when I used to work there, my goal was to be 10% of them. It wasn't even like
more than that. So how can you say you're not a GOAT? Like,
no, in terms of what I do, like in my eyes, you always have to put yourself a bit below. I think you can never see
Nah,
yourself as
man,
the
if you
GOAT.
don't gas up your thing, no one else is. And I
No,
mean
of
that.
course you can gas you up, but my eyes is if you put yourself as the best of the best, right? That says you got nowhere to improve. If you put yourself in towards the middle, you say I got room to improve. I know there's aspects of other people's content creation I could learn from was quite a lot as well. I always learn the 5 things anyways. But my point is, rather than just going, yeah, I'm the best, I've got the best numbers, I've got this and that. I'll go, look, he's got that I can learn from. Versus that,
What it's
I think
about.
that tier list where I found it more offensive was like, oh yeah, he's delusional. I don't say delusional stuff all the time. If you watch my content for actually, a lot of it's just stats. I don't even say opinions on that. So you can't even say it's delusional there. Maybe it's the Twitter that wrote you the wrong way. But yeah, I think you're right. I think
You must piss people off on
I
Twitter.
feel like I've been misprofiled a little bit. Like they
You
give me like
definitely have, man.
I'm
I'm
like some
sorry, but
opinionated guy.
yeah,
But I don't give
no,
opinions like that all the time.
but that's the thing. Like you are, I think you, anyone in that space, anyone who was there and there was a number of lists, everybody's a goat in their own way. I think it's too much. My dad's bigger than yours. He'll beat up yours. My
There's no
dick is
point in
bigger
that.
than yours. It's too much of that, bro. Like, and I can't lie to you. I don't think you're mer, bro. Like that is a violation. Like Saeed and
Bro,
Faz are
that's what
tweaking.
I was like,
Nah,
yeah.
it's
No, but then
it's
again,
tweaking.
the reason why is because what Saeed might consume and Rants and Faz is different type of content. So that's what we have to realize as well. There's a reason why there's so many different types of channels.
Brother,
You got the
that's irrelevant.
stats.
I hear you though, and you're
Yeah,
right, but that's irrelevant because you don't have to disagree with your opinions, but you give your own opinions, your production level, and all those sort of things that you do, the 5 things, all the mad things you do. You are definitely not. A man can't say mer. Like you can't say you're mer because no one
yeah,
for someone
yeah,
that ain't working for Sky Sports and all of these things, it's up there with production value.
yeah.
Now, again, some people, like you said, some people care about production people, some people don't. It all depends like what you're on content for, because again, what I feel is the major thing is everyone's a goat in their own way, and it's just about celebrating diversity. You got a different range of people, and ironically, we're all football content creators. Football
That's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
care if you're working class, middle class, lower class, whatever. Everyone's got an opinion. So I think that is goat stuff in itself. You go
It's a
back
dream,
10,
innit?
yeah, like maybe 10's an exaggeration, 2013, I don't know if that would have been it, but you go 10 or so years ago, you don't have a
Yeah, 10
voice,
years
I don't
ago,
have a
it don't
voice,
happen.
and
Yeah,
you give people to your thing. So like, it's you're
yeah,
not
10
on
years
there,
ago, you're
bro.
right.
You're
Yeah, look,
definitely not
it
there.
was controversial, bro. I saw it. I was like, yeah, I got my opinions, but you keep your. I always say to myself, this is why I don't give them out all the time. You have your opinions, but then there's a public space. In the public space, you can't come out and be rude because sometimes in your heart you go, nah, this is wrong, bro. Nah, I need to stand on business here, but you don't win anything that way. In my eyes, this is my form of winning. Is you keep growing your channel, you keep putting up your numbers, you keep growing your
Handling
community,
business.
and you handle your business there. Because at the end of the day, you can get ranked a certain way, but if I saw it correctly, some of the biggest channels in terms of what they produce probably have the best business as well. They're towards the bottom. Now, in my eyes, success, yeah, I can have a great community and I give them the best content possible. But we are all putting food on the table. We are trying to pay the bills as well. And in that aspect there, that's how I can't control people's opinions about me, but I can control my output, my quality, and what I produce numbers wise. And that's why I always try to aim towards. I think it offends people sometimes that I'm more towards the numbers basis, but my idol right now in the YouTube game is like Mr. Beast. If you ever watch Mr. Beast speak, it's less about his personality. He isn't as charismatic as a KSI as an example, or people
When
that
you get
are much
there, make
smaller.
sure you shine the light
But
on the trenches, my
but
guy.
I'm trying to say, but what they have though is they're all about the game. Cool. How can I attract viewers in? People think it's clickbaiting, right? If I'm being real with you,
The science behind YouTube.
I think I told you this behind the scenes before. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think I
that's
said it
something
publicly
you're
at least.
very good at, and
But
you've tried to put me
people
onto
say
them kind of things.
100%. They get me over the he over exaggerates. I learned from the likes when I say learn, I've seen the likes of KSI do Reddit videos where the topic is, "Am I quitting YouTube?" He's not quitting YouTube, but you click on it, and
It
the
sparks
way I see it
curiosity.
is exactly you spot. It's a bit of a science, as you said. It's about attracting viewers in, clicking. But then the more important part is this is where I don't think I really do clickbait. My returning viewers, I get like 60, 70, 60, 50% returning viewers per video. So people that are clicking the
So you're
videos,
doing something
if
well.
exactly if it was just clickbait and it's a one-off thing, the views would drop off per video, get a video after video. But clearly there's something there that I find successful there. But it's not a numbers game. It depends on how you classify it. But in terms of personality, I don't think I have the personality out there right now, likes of even Lee or Saeed. I think those guys have more personality out there right now because I don't
Yeah, but
stream
you're
either.
yourself though. You
Of
can't
course,
be
yeah.
any of them.
But
They
I think
can't be
when you
you. I
stream
can't be
though,
you, and etc.
yeah.
etc.
But when you stream, I think you have more chance to show that personality because it's unfiltered. There's no edits. Whereas what I do is less
Oh yeah, I
about
see what you mean.
getting my personality out there, more just get the facts out there, keep retention as high as possible to keep the viewer locked in. Hence why my videos are always chopping topics left, right, because it's about firing information towards you. It's more product than it is personality. If I stream more often, like I did back in 2021, I don't more clips that I go put on Twitter and stuff, and you get people that, oh, this guy's better funny. But my goal was I was broke. I needed to make money on the game, and I
Simple,
needed
and
to,
I rate that because
yeah,
me and you have spoken behind the scenes about that. Like,
yeah, that's what it was.
it comes to that.
I needed to pay the bills, and I thought, look, I could stream as much as possible and I can build a community there. But for me, it was about stability in life. When you post videos, the way it works, obviously, money wise as well, is it pays you per ads, and you know how much ads are in a video. So then you set down some number of views. With the live streams, is people that have that as their job. It's about super chats, memberships. It's more reliant on the viewer to commit to you, and it's a bit
That's where the
unpredictable at
community
times.
aspect comes in.
Yeah, and I think I don't want my community to donate to me that. When they watch an ad, it's different to donating to me. That's their
I
money
always
they're
feel a bit
spending.
awkward with that,
Yeah,
with the
that's
super
why I
chats.
always stay
I
for live
appreciate it, but I
streams.
don't know how you
Yeah,
react to it.
because I'm like, I see other channels, for example, they've asked, okay, can you support? And I don't disagree with it because they want to pay their bills, and that's their way of doing it. But for me, it's always been a matter of ads. Putting ads in is quite a lot for me. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to watch. I want you to watch the video, and that's about it.
But like you said, the
But
game's the game, bro.
the game's the game, bro. You
There's
gotta
got
be
to be a
honest about
trade-off.
it. You gotta be honest about the game because if you're not honest about the game, you'll get left behind. That's what I was scared
Exactly.
of back in 2020 when I left the AFTV. I was like, I kind of will get left behind. And the people I look at in the game are the biggest of the biggest. And people find it maybe annoying that I look at the likes of Goldbridge or AFTV, but they're the big ones, bro.
But
They're
if
the
they
big ones
are,
that are
but
putting up
this
the
is
big.
just where it goes back to it, Babs. It's
Yeah,
like everybody's judging things on different things. People want different things. Like for me, I kind of want it all. I want to do videos. I want to do live streams. I'm more like community belt. I'm kind of more like, because obviously I was in the underrated scene. But then if you judge it, bro, like I'm not being, I was saying myself, yeah, and I'm like, I don't feel offended with mine anyways. And everyone's allowed their opinion. I'm just happy to be there and spoken about, bro. But why
yeah,
I think
that's
I'm
most
gonna go,
important.
yeah, nobody can rise up a black kid from Edmonton that is speaking with Ornstein, that's got a video of Ornstein, that's done this, that's done that, that's the other. So my point is not to blow smoke up my own ass or yours. It's just everybody can get different things. For me, I'm all on being the best you can be. What I define as me being the best, because you know yourself, I like all the tactical stuff and all of that. That's very different to what you want or what Rance wants or whatever. And I think everyone's a GOAT in their own right. At the same time, I don't really care about the GOAT thing. Like, as long as you think
Bro,
you're a GOAT, that's it. I think it's too much ego
yeah,
thingies. I think it was misplaced a
we have
bit.
to
And you're
realize.
definitely not Mer. Like,
Yeah, we have to realize. Obviously, we're in the goats aspect. I agree with that. I'm on the opposite thing. We're like we're all doing right, but we're just talking football.
which is
Goats
all
for
true as
me,
well.
like it's not that serious. We're just giving
Which is
opinions about
what I
games.
agree with as well.
Yeah. So the whole goat meh. Who are we to judge? Like who are we? The judgment comes from the viewers who keep coming week in week out.
That's why I don't agree with you
If
being
they're
Mer.
enjoying it and they keep returning and you keep growing, that is your judgment. Versus someone giving his opinion on your content. I think it's caused controversy. I think if that was the goal, it's done well. But also I think people that he's put into the lower categories or said bad stuff about, they might go, look, bro, future collaborations, I don't want to do with you because you've not rated my thing. It happens, bro. That's how the game works as well. But
And
in
that's
my
what I
eyes,
hate, bro, because
I
it's too
think we
many,
get. I
because there's
think
too
we're
many
taking it too
egos in this
seriously
game.
now. We're taking it way too seriously. This whole ranking
Facts.
tiers. We're not football players, bro. We're not. So you're
And
saying
it's funny
that,
because we
yeah,
criticize footballers, but everybody's crying about where they
we're
are,
not
quote
football
unquote.
players. Yeah, we're not football players. We're just content creators. We talk about football. We give our opinions, like most people do in life. The difference is we put it on camera, and it might do well, it might not. That's about it. I think right now the game's gotten too serious. Yeah, he knows how to play the game, and he's doing clickbaits, and he's doing this and that. People watching videos, they're getting their numbers. Let them enjoy it. Why look at others so much? Focus on yourself. Control yourself as well. But again,
Facts.
you need to have a fun idea, and if they find it fun, they find it fun. They definitely. I also helped other content creators out as well to give them a chance to speak
Help me,
about
man. That's why I
other
big up
channels as
Faz
well.
and Saeed. Like for me, I
Yeah,
don't think Saeed or Faz said anything necessarily bad about me. No, they didn't. They didn't. They gave me my flowers. Not that I need them, but they gave me them. I just disagreed with, certain people. Is like yourself. I don't think you're mad. Like you can disagree with your opinions. You could say it's too structured or whatever, but that is what you do. You're about the information, the kind of more short form content. That's
correct.
your thing. You
Yeah,
mentioned with Mr. Beast. Some people don't care about the tactics and all the talking points. It's just more of a laid back kind of thing. Stream. You can't.
it's
It's like
content, bro.
chalk and
What you
cheese, isn't it?
consume. Yeah,
It's
it's
like
what
Route
I'm
One
telling you.
football and tiki taka. You can't.
If I'm going on Netflix and I've got all these options, I might prefer Money Heist over something else. But that
Exactly.
doesn't mean Money Heist is the goat then, because in my eyes it is the goat because that's what I watch, it's what I consume. But it is what it is. Like initially, I'm not gonna lie about it. I was like, oh, this is a bit caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, so hey, I know my opinions are different to most of the people that were on the list, but doesn't mean I've deserved to be down there. But if you put me down there, it is what it is. It gives me a motivation. It gets me off my ass. It goes, okay, cool. I need to grab, but not to gain people's satisfaction and go, okay, I need you to rate me. I'm just gonna keep growing my own game out. That's how I get motivated more and more often. It gives you a fire in the belly. I mean, that's how you should look at it as well. If you believe that you should be in
Pause.
the GOAT tier, put yourself in there. There's nothing stopping you in 5 years' time for being there if you put the right work in.
If you
But
truly
also,
believe
what
and
I've
work.
learned in my game, and I think it's more advice I'm giving out as well to any new content creators, I was putting in, like DG does as well, 5-6 hours into videos and they were getting 20-30 views. So I had to realize that the game was getting played. I was getting played by the game. Effort was good and quality was there, and I was scripting videos, but I was putting more into the quality of the video and less into actually also how do I entice the viewer in. It was only when I found a balance I saw actual growth, and it became from what was 10k to 50k to 100k now, thankfully over 200k. That's
And
why I think I
counting,
learned
man.
it.
Soon at
Yeah,
a million.
hopefully, man. But that's why I have
Nah,
to
stop the hopefully
advise.
stuff,
That's why I
man.
always give advice. I gave it to you behind the scenes already, so it's not
Yeah,
like
no,
I'm
you
new.
done a lot for man.
But
Same like
I
Rant,
think,
same like
yeah,
Lee. This is why for me, I find this weird, bro, because not even weird, but like the rhetoric behind it. Big up Saeed. I think he's played a blinder because of the engagement, and I did get some more subscribers from that. But everybody's got different strengths. Me, I'm on learning. Like I'm naturally quite opinionated and I don't really struggle, but there's ways in how you present the content and the whole editing stuff. There's bare things that you've told me to do and bare things I could pluck your brains on. But the way you like, the way you speak, the way you tailor it, the way you kind of, I don't know how you make it make sense, but it's like, you kind of not just necessarily you, but like the drip feeding kind of element before you get into the content, but you drip feed the delivery. I'm getting at. There's that.
yeah,
There's things around Rancy's show. There's things around Mark Goldbridge and Robbie, Saeed, even Faz, man, with his cooking. I ain't gonna do the cooking thing, but there's things you can learn for anything. Like even with Faz, I might not go do cooking, but there might be something that is I like doing or something that's left field that I might think, you know what, let me try that. So I just think everyone can learn from anyone. I think there's just too much of
I think
feelings. I
people.
think
Do you know what
go
it
on.
is? I reckon what it is the community sometimes, and I've tried to stay away from it in terms of my content. They they need drama.
They
They
love
need
drama, bro.
yeah, because
Drama's
it
what
sparks
sells, man.
conversation.
Big up
So
Lee
in
as
my
well.
my content's all I never spoken
But he's
about
done
beef
things for
a
me as
single
well.
time on my channel in my life because I always feel like my viewers want Arsenal. That's my niche, so I just give them Arsenal. They want the news, I give them the news. Do you know what I mean? That's all I ever do. Very rarely do I give opinions because I don't value my opinion that highly. Because again, it's just an opinion. There's no fact behind it. There's no stat behind it. There's no logic behind it apart from maybe a bias, an emotional bias. Hence why I don't give it out as much. And if I do give it out and I back up with stats, people go, I still disagree. So I can give you evidence for why I agree with this, and you will still disagree with it. So that's why I thought it was a bit of a lost cause at times. But in the content creation thing, I think we all live in the dream. I think that's what it is, and we have to
Exactly.
just be grateful for that alone. That the fact we're just talking ball, and that's paying our bills. That's everyone's dream. We used to do is
And
just
that's
scroll
the
back in the day.
underlying metric and the only important metric.
That's the only thing that matters the most.
Like, there's just so much to rate, like through different reasons. But I've seen you leave AFTV, do your own thing. Saeed's gone and done his own thing. Faz is doing his own thing. Rance is doing his own thing. Half the people there are doing their own thing. And for me, yeah, there's some people that are not necessarily full-time content creators, but you would think they are because of how bloody hard they work. So, like you said, should just be thankful. I'm a bit like you in that I think when you've been in the game this long, I would say for me, Northside, Lee, yourself, Dan Potts, Curtis, Turkish, everybody. We're kind of at that stage now where it's water for ducks back, where if somebody praises you, thank you for that. But you don't get too excited. And when people obviously chatting shit, you don't get too negative. You're kind of in that kind of steady kind of zone. So yeah, man, I think Saeed said a lot of good tips. I think everybody's different, in it. Like, I don't have a problem stating my opinion. I really just like to talk ball with people that are like balanced and whatnot. But then when this is what I mean about learning, because when you say things, it makes sense. Like even when I was watching Rance and Faz's thing, they said things that make sense. Even with what you just said there, it makes sense around the opinion. Like how much can you do it is like I think one thing I admire about you is you found your lane. And I wouldn't say you stick to it because we're streaming right now. You do your other stuff, but you found your lane and you found a way to make it work. With me, I kind of like everything. And the actual reason I started YouTube was around youth content. And naturally, I'm an Arsenal fan. So that's kind of been what I'm kind of known for. So, like I said, there's things from you that I can learn, man, and have learned, man. But you know what? Forget all of that now, man. Big up everybody in this space. Yeah, man. I can't wait till the next year. I can't lie, Saeed and Faz, you got to do it every year. You got to do it every year. International break only because it inspires drama. I want to ask you one, two things, man. Charles Watcher said that Bukayo Saka could be back for Fulham next Tuesday. How do you feel about him being there and being in the Real Madrid game? Are you nervous?
No, Madrid obviously you're nervous, but come on, it's Real Madrid. We have to respect what we're like 15-time champions, reigning European champions. Plus, look, I'll be real. We went to Bayern last year. We struggled, not just in terms of quality, but in terms
Stage
of
fright.
mentally. I could see. I saw it when the players walked out in the tunnel, and I can see you just see in their eyes that okay, these players here, they can sense a bit of fear now, anxiety. We're in the big stage now. It's big Bayern Munich. They've got top world class players, and obviously bad memories in the past as well. But Saka returning is nice. I don't think it has as major impact yet because it's a hamstring injury. It's a hamstring tear. So you got to be very careful how he returns. I think what I've seen reports wise and just people that analyze injuries, one of the biggest concerns after returning from a hamstring tear is re-injury because it's going to happen basically 100% unless you're very, very careful with it. Now, Arsenal play high intensity games. He tracks back and forwards as well. Even if he's on the bench against Fulham, I don't know if he's starting against Real Madrid. I think he'll be on the bench in both those games, realistically speaking, because I don't think he's going to be fit enough to be the Bukayo we saw at the start of the season. Again, stage fright as well. You know, if you've already torn your hamstring once and you're then trying to burst past a player, your mind subconsciously is going to think, hang on a minute, if I burst past a player, I might go again. And the last thing I want is to go through all that surgery again.
Facts.
And we've seen it with Reece James. Injured, hamstring tear, comes back,
And it
injured
becomes
again,
a theme.
injured again. And it becomes more and more fear. And I think I saw a podcast once years ago. Who's a player that played for Newcastle? Something Dyer. What's his name? What's his first name? Kieran Dyer, that's the one. He was a podcast on maybe True Geordie's podcast where he talked about his hamstring injury. And how he kept going injured time and time again. And that it was an issue somewhere else. But it just shows as a footballer the pain it can cause you and how reoccurring it is. So we have to be very careful. I don't think Saka will be fully fit until maybe the end of the season. Maybe next season, to be honest.
With what you just said there, yeah, it ties up to what I was going to ask you. Do you think it's worth just writing off Saka's season then? Regardless of what we're quote unquote
I think he won't. And I think Mikel as well, not delusion, but more just need to win. I think he realizes, I don't think he uses social media, but people will see the news and he will see the pressure building. He sees all the narratives around him that he can't win a trophy. If he can beat Real Madrid and just pull a masterclass out there, and it will give the fans so much more thing. This season, like every year in the last couple of years, we've had that moment where you go, okay, cool, we can see where it's going. If you somehow beat Real Madrid over 2 legs, or even in a game, fans might go, okay, this is the moment for this season where if we win nothing, at least we had that thing there where we could see the progress being made from the quarterfinal to semi-final. But I think with Bukayo, I kind of agree. I think the longer term safety of the player and health is much more important than potentially getting through into the semi-final, because I don't see us winning the Champions League. I don't think we have the profiles for it. I don't think we have the moment players for it. And I think we require a lot of luck to go win that, to be honest. And it sounds mad because we are so far into this whole project stuff. But I think that's our biggest kryptonite is when it comes to being unpredictable, being more off the cuff, we struggle. That's why in the Premier League, we're more suited to it. And we lose less games. We win more games because you can predict around it. You've got the same opponents week in, week out, same type of intensity as well. Champions League, you could play Real Madrid. You could be very good tactically. Outdo Carlo Ancelotti there. But Mbappe cuts in behind, puts
They
the
got
top
the
bins, game
black
over.
magic, man.
They got the luck. You to beat Real Madrid, you don't have to just be great tactically. You've also got to be very lucky.
You actually have to kill them. They're a bit like Liverpool's an exaggeration, well, compared to Real Madrid, but they're the
They're
two
on
clubs I
steroids.
feel, yeah, especially in Champions League.
Steroids.
You could be 4-0 up and they do a thing. Like you're
City
right,
game
man.
A couple of years ago when they were 2-0 up and then Rodrigo goes and scores 2 goals. And I've seen it time and time again. Not against I've seen it time and time against other clubs. So I've learned from their games. It feels like I've already experienced Real Madrid before even experiencing Real Madrid, because I've seen other clubs lose so many times against them out of nowhere. So in this game here, I'm not too confident. I'll be real.
I mean, they say you're not opinionated. That was quite opinionated. I know, like I'm 29.
Nah, I meant on my channel, to be honest. On other channels,
no, but I'm just throwing it out there because that was a thing that was constantly said. I was like, no, he's doing what he needs to do, but he definitely has opinions. But I think you're right, man. And normally you're a lot more optimistic, but I think you said things I can't disagree. I think we're not unpredictable enough. I don't feel Mikel Arteta is unpredictable enough. I feel obviously with the landscape, with Marino up front, several injuries, us kind of predicting where we're going to go in. There's no element of surprise. You never know. Obviously, I've got all the time in the world for Miles Lewis, Skelly and Wanyeri. And if they play against Real Madrid, great. But as you know yourself, young players, Real Madrid is the pinnacle. And I think you said something earlier, which is something I I'm running out of patience with it, but I think it is prevalent in that. I'm not saying this to keep Mikel Arteta or say he's the guy or there's light at the end of the tunnel, he needs to go. I think this is just the reality. I think you look at the last 3 years, those are the first times Mikel Arteta has been fighting for a league or lost the league in those conditions. Last season, we popped our cherry in the Champions League. That was the first time playing Bayern Munich, which was held as a poor Bayern Munich side. This is the first, and the players as well. This is the first time collectively we're playing Real Madrid, which they've got different ways of playing. You know, Carlo Ancelotti said he looked at Arteta system as to how to play City. So he knows what we're going to do. I've seen them be press machines. I've seen them sit off. You yourself, you've seen little things like Valverde out wide. It's one thing talking about the starters and the quality of the starters and the prestige of Real Madrid. You got Diaz and Vasquez and this one and that one. So I do think it's a mountain too high to climb. I would like to win the Champions League for the obvious reasons, and I'm sure you agree with me with that. I think it would right some of the wrongs this season, but it's a difficult task, man. It's a difficult task. I want to ask you as well, yeah, on the fullbacks, because naturally we'll all agree, Raya, Gabriel, Saliba. Do you go Benjamin White and Timber, or do you go Timber and Lewis Kelly?
I go Lewis Kelly. I think he's built for the big stage. I think in a game like the Bernabeu, or obviously at the Emirates as well, no matter who he plays against, I've got confidence in him because I know he's got the natural quality.
Earned it.
And I think him playing against better opponents will make him more inspired as well. And also give him a learning curve as well, you know, how to play against his top wingers. Real Madrid obviously on the right-hand side play Rodrigo, so we can see how that works out there. So I start Lewis Kelly. I think he's better defensively than Calafiori, to be honest with you. I think Calafiori is better going forwards at times in terms of intensity and obviously trying to get the ball into the final third and scoring goals as well, as we've seen. Right back, Timber, again, 1v1 defensive ability. Real Madrid got Vinicius Jr. He can kill you 1v1. He can probably kill Timber 1v1. But having seen what he did to Bradley Barcola in the season, and that one tackle, obviously, we saw as well, where he put his leg out and then cut him off completely. I think Timber's a better 1v1 defender than Ben White. And I think in this game it suits him. I think actually going forwards on the overlap, I prefer Ben White. Timber's better underlapping, making those other, you know.
I prefer Timber everything in the final third. Not to downplay Ben White, but I just think Timber's good, man.
But having seen Ben White's impact last year in the overlap, how many times this year have you seen Timber get to the overlap, cut a ball in behind?
No, that's true. And I do think his shiny new toy syndrome with Timber, as great as he is. Just because Timber's quality don't mean we have to forget Ben White. I don't like
using the word normally, but I'm going to use it here. He's just got the aura. Calm guy.
Don't bring that aura stuff over here, man.
No, not like looks, but I'm talking
about. I'm joking, man.
Yeah, how he plays. Do you know you can just see a player calm,
he just gets
collected, smooth with everything, smooth passes, smooth with. He might even misplace the pass, but he just looks so smooth doing it. You go, he did the right thing there. That's
looks like what he came out of the academy. Like some players, you'll see Ajax on the CV, and they might not look like an Ajax player. He's that to a T. We need to go back for that, old man. Like I think you're right. You know, I must admit, I did a show with Jess. She knows Arsenal a few weeks ago, and I was kind of more leaning, and I think Arteta will do it actually, leaning into the more experienced one of like bag of like Timber, go do me a job on the left hand side, White come in. But I must admit, I'm now, and you, unpopular opinion, because we've been speaking about content creators, you are allowed to change your mind and have different perspectives. I am going to put Lewis Kelly and Timber. I know Timber can get ripped, even though I have more faith in him. I know Lewis Kelly won't get destroyed, but he's young. He's got a lot to learn, and it wouldn't surprise me if Rodrigo does something great. But I just think he's earned that confidence. What he's done in 8-9 months, he made his debut in September to getting capped by England and all the nonsense, and he just keeps it in his stride. I'm with that. I think generally this season, we're probably all a lot more happier with our defensive aspects or our defenders, or we're happy with the defensive half of our field rather than the rest. Even if let me prove a point. Who would you, in no order, if you had to give top 3 players of the season at Arsenal, who would you like? What would be yours?
It depends. Because quality-wise, you can look at the experienced players and who've had Gabriel, for example.
You looked at this season and thought,
let's go for just best of the best. I'm going to go Gabriel first, consistency. Week in, week out. I don't think he's put a single mistake up there. He's fought some important goals as well. Has to be number 1 for me. I'd got Timber second. Again, same metric, consistency, because I think none of our attackers, apart from Bukayo, who's missed half of it, have had the seasons to really put him up there as well. So it has to be them. And you know what? I'm then going to put Miles in. I should put Raya, to be honest, because he's been even in terms of quality-wise. Because of Miles' breakthrough and the feeling he's provided me as a fan. Seeing a young boy come from our academy, score a goal against Man City, then do it for England as well. Bro, I think he deserves his flowers. And if obviously Ethan played more games, he might have a chance there as well. But Miles for me, just a little hope. the smiles, you know, in a season that we've really
Just
struggled in
getting
terms
it.
of, yeah, just going, okay, he's a positive now. I can look at him and go, this is a player that excites me when it comes to playing on the left hand side, bursting past his man, gets you off your seat. I think Timber for me, sorry, it'd be Gabriel, Timber, and Miles, all defenders.
I don't, and this you just proved the point, and I think you're bang on the money. I think who did I do a stream with? I did a stream with someone earlier, and I asked them that same question, and I went with that. I feel everything you said with Miles Skelly. Not to criticize Calafiori, I just think he needs to go on a defensive crash course. But at the end of the day, someone that's been in our academy has taken your spot in it. Like he's taken your spot. He's the number one. Respectfully to you, Calafiori, he's better than you, like at this moment in time. And whether Miles is going to end up as a midfielder or a left back is great. Like you said, the man's just made his debut, and it feels because of the way he's playing and the way he's conducting himself. And I think this is the biggest praise I can give him. It's like you've been here for a while, man. Like obviously, I can
Yeah,
look at your face and I know you're 18 and all those things, but you're moving like you've always been here. And I like the. I don't like how he's portrayed in the media, but I like the healthy nastiness he has or the competitive streak. Timber's the same. You could never tell me Timber's not a nice person, but
I
he's not
find
a
it, bro.
prick. I like both of them. So I think you went with all the three players I would have went with. I do feel you on what you said there with David Raya. I don't feel he's got enough flowers this season. Where if you went through the
Yeah,
highlights, he's made
100%.
bare saves and double saves and probably owed a bit more clean sheets. I would if Partey for me, he's kind of dropped off the boil, but I did think he was good. I think
Stayed
Rice
fit.
was playing catch up this season, got back into it. And I actually think Saka's got a claim, not in the top
Oh
three
no,
now, but
if
like he
we're
was on course for a great season and he was
bro,
doing the business, but ultimately his season's done, in it. Well,
if
been
Saka
holding.
had stayed fit, this would not even be a
It would have been
conversation.
an all-timer, man.
It would have been Saka, Saka, and Saka.
The fans online would have got Odegaard, man. Odegaard's always ended up as
No,
our
I
player of the
get it, but
season.
bro, like this, I think what we see this year, I think a lot of Arsenal fans that watch Arsenal properly in terms of seeing who performs the highest, who provides the moments. As much as Odegaard deserves his flowers, because he's his captain, of course he does. Saka's been the guy for the last 2 years that has actually made our best moments consistently. He's
Been
been the
doing it for
final
years
action
for us.
player. And I think last year, with Odegaard's again, it's an aesthetic purpose as well. Where Saka's a bit more stop-start, a bit slower in terms of how he dribbles past players, even though he's more effective at times. Odegaard can do that little flick, and you go, "Oh, that's nice." And so he's automatically his game gets raised. I think he did it last year. Where he dropped Kovacic a few times and shit like that. That helps out quite a lot. Whereas with Saka now, having seen how we struggled without him, now fans are going, "Okay, hang on a minute. This is the guy that when he's not playing, we will see the biggest impact." Because without Odegaard, yeah, we were still second, but we were still scoring more goals, getting more over the line. And then Odegaard came back, and it was just few games we scored. I think 5 against Sporting, 6 against West Ham. But
Facts.
apart from that, you can think we can now certifiably say that Bukayo Saka is Arsenal's best attacker, in my eyes at least.
I mean, it's been the case for a while, man. And, it feels like such a long time ago. I remember the days where he was making the difference as a left back. Well, you made a Saliba this season because, on one hand, I do feel like he's fallen off. But then on the other, and I think Gabriel Magalhaes has been better than him. But then on the other hand, I do still maintain, I think you've dropped off a level. But you're still been playing relative. You have made mistakes, and it's been probably the lowest period in the 3 years you've been back in the first team. But you're still playing to a higher level. You're ultimately dying by the standards you set. But what have you made of Saliba this season?
Look, Saliba's his level. We know Saliba's level. He's had some great games. I would say compared to Gabriel, inconsistent. Not mean like over the season, but just in games.
Just in
So
comparison.
like you look at the game against Isak. Now I'm not saying he was completely bullied. I won't go over that narrative. I think there's a few little flicks and tricks, and obviously when you're up against a world class player, they're allowed to have good games as well. It's not always you having a great game. You could have a very good game, but he has an even better game, and it makes you. I think the idea of football fans now is so hyperbole. If Saliba gets beaten once, it's a stinker.
It's
What about
agendas, man. Come
the
on,
other
social
89
media.
minutes he's played? The other 89 minutes he's played, he's perfect basically. But he has that
But
one
that
moment where he's a
narrative doesn't
stinker.
sell, Babs, though.
Yeah, and it's not like he made a mistake either. It was a little flick in behind. It could happen to anyone. Van Dijk, Saliba, Gabriel, or just Saliba in that moment in time. But yeah, I think he's had moments. I don't think he's been as good as he was last year, consistency wise. But do you know why I expect it? He's still 22, 22, 23. Like I don't expect him to be at Gabriel's level yet because Gabriel's older. At Saliba's age,
He's
when
the big
Gabriel was
bro.
there, we saw Gabriel being consistent. We've seen Gabriel at the same type of age, 24, where he was making mistakes. But centre backs is a game of experience. The more you gain experience, the more confidence you get, the more you know your strengths and weaknesses, the more you learn to play to them. And I think that's what Gabriel is now. He knows where he struggles and where he excels the most, and we see less of the where he struggles. And we see it with Virgil van Dijk as another example, a player that at the start, when he's at Southampton and Celtic, he had moments, but as he got more experience, he just became the most unstoppable defender because he knows what he's good at.
I think you're bang on the money, man. You see the Trent stuff of going to Real Madrid and all of that, and like they've been watching him for 2 years. The same with Mbappe. Do you look at Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Saliba considering their contracts and think, oh, what's going on here? Maybe they fancy Madrid. We've been close, but not got over the line where the league's concerned. Like, does it scare you that one day they might be tempted, or maybe they're being monitored, or maybe we could have the same fate Liverpool could?
I think Bukayo stays because I think he's got. I mean, look, it's weird because Liverpool have losing their star boy in Trent, but for Bukayo, I think he stays.
Don't speak it into existence, man.
Right? It's weird because Madrid kind of don't need a right winger, but that's the one area you got Saka. I'm not gonna say actually he's gonna be too manifesting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But my point is, Gabriel. I think Madrid not yet. I think he's a player could stay at Arsenal, but then I think if he leaves Arsenal, I reckon the Saudi bid could come in. We saw it the rumours anyways. And I think there's a stage where if a stupid offer comes in for Gabriel, there you go. What would you say? Say no, not this summer, but maybe in 2-3 years' time, you get £80 million as an example.
You're saying 100 million this summer, bro. I think Arsenal would sell him for that if he's on it.
I think Arsenal could. And it sounds
I think it's too good to turn down for the club. I wouldn't do it, but I think they would.
Because the thing is, a centre-back game right now, there's a lot of players you still could sign. They're not Gabriel. They don't have the experience. They don't have the Arsenal, experience as well. But there are centre-backs out there. It's a market. There's a lot of high-quality players. You got obviously a Bournemouth. You got Huijsen as a good example. He's not Gabriel yet, but the potential is certainly there as well. But I think the most likely to go to Real Madrid, just out of pure honesty, is William Saliba.
And they're still on to him,
William Saliba is a player who I believe, even if we win a title next season and a Champions League, he might stay a year or two. He will have one more contract cycle.
But it's inevitable.
Once that comes to an end, I think he goes to Real Madrid. Just gut feeling. I think
it's inevitable.
When he came through at Arsenal initially, he just looked like a Real Madrid player. That's just how it is. And I've seen Cristiano Ronaldo win Ballon d'Ors at Man United, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, go to Madrid.
The Liverpool players won everything. Well, yeah. Trent,
he's their home boy. He's their star boy. He's come through that city, right? And he's gone, I'm still going Madrid. So Saliba might be an Arsenal fan. He might love the club. He might love London as well. But Madrid come calling, and you got the chance to play with Mbappe, and you've won everything at Arsenal, hopefully, then I think it's a good chance. But I think in terms of what I'd see it as, I don't hope he leaves on a free. I think he signs another contract, and I think he could become the first ever £100 million defender.
I mean, I hope so. I hope even by our selling standards, we need to make some money. I feel Saliba's obviously got the higher ceiling and all of that, but Gabriel Magalhaes, I think if he left tomorrow, just in like with us wanting to win trophies and stuff, I do think his impact will be a bit more like felt. Oh, yeah, I do think people look, yeah, exactly. I do think people look at 27, and once you start getting to 27 to 29 to 30, people move like you're 75 and you've got a walking stick. But at that basis, Saliba might. Exactly, like Saliba, we know he's going to leave. I agree with everything you said. One day he's going to leave. So I just hope whoever that is, wherever that is, we're scouting the next one. The same goes for Gabriel Magalhaes, because it's annoying. And that would be the annoying thing, because we've got two great individual defenders who could be got claims to be the best in the world or top 5. As a partnership, there isn't many, if any, better than them. And that's where that would be the only annoyance for me. And you could throw Saka in, because obviously if Van Dijk, Salah and Trent leave, at least they've done something at their club. Not to downplay anything, but it would be that feelings of what if kind of thing. So I really, really, really hope we get it done, man. So yeah, I think Saliba's going one day. I think the club will take. Happy birthday, Arteta. I do think the club will take 100 million on Gabriel Magalhaes if it does happen. What are you saying for Isak? Because apparently Newcastle paused contract talks with Alexander Isak after he did not accept their initial proposals, with the club now set to reassess and plan their next move. Both Arsenal and Liverpool increasingly view Isak as their priority up front this summer. Gonna cost a lot, gonna have big wages, especially if we renew the players that we need to renew and bring in a Nico Williams. But are you confident on that?
No, we're not getting Isak. We're not getting Isak. Let's just get it out of our heads right now, because I think Newcastle get Champions League, because I don't think Chelsea are going to get it. I think Newcastle are a far better team, so that's a very, very good possibility as well. The team they've got, the midfield they've got, Bruno, Tonali, and Joelinton. That's a top midfield, you know.
And you build onto that.
Yeah,
you're laughing.
And then you got, if they had a front three, Gooner and Isak, and they go sign like an Mbeumo, that's a top front three and a top midfield with a very good defensive manager as well. And
you just want a trophy. They got a good project.
So this kind of all rests on if Newcastle get Champions League football or not. We know about that. We've seen the reports. But I think even if they don't get Champions League football, he still has, I think, 3 years left on his contract.
Exactly.
So it's not like he's running out of his contract. And it's more a matter of, will he want to leave? Can he force a move potentially? But we've seen Harry Kane try at Spurs and other players, Wilfred Zaha at Crystal Palace. If the club don't want to sell you, the offers don't arise either, he
You can
ain't gonna
scream and
leave.
shout, you're not going nowhere.
And the two clubs that are after him as well, I'd say are the two slowest negotiating clubs out of all the clubs that could have gone for him. This would be right to deadline
Barcelona's
day.
been linked as well. They're broke.
All till deadline day to just go like, yeah, Arsenal might go for another striker next window. So I think realistically, we're gonna go for a Shesko and a Williams, because the reason why we can't sign Isak is because we need two players, not one. And I'd rather have a wide
We need to
forward
make the
striker
budget
than just a
stretch.
striker. And it's a debate Arsenal fans will have, because Isak's the ready-made player. But I still feel like next year, if we sign Isak, what's the point of having him if you're not creating as many chances on the left-hand side?
All over the pitch.
Functional attack. I've seen teams win a title with Darwin Núñez as a striker.
It's funny you said that,
It's about
because
the
our
right-
XG is one of the lowest in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Like the
we need
Emirates
to be-
Stadium has seen third least XG created this season behind Goodison Park and Nottingham Forest. So I'm happy
Yeah.
you mentioned that, because we need to. There's
Yeah.
a lot we need to do tactically and on the coaching front, as well as bringing in players. I can understand why fans do it, but I think it's a very simplistic way of thinking. If you just assume you get Sesko, Nico Williams, Isaac, Nico Williams, Zubamendi, and we're laughing. I think there's a lot Arteta's got to do to evolve the system. This season's been a humbler though, man.
It has been humbler. It's weird because I think next year, if we can pull it back and actually go and do what we were meant to do this year, I think a lot of narrative around this year will be okay, the injuries make sense now. But if we don't, there'll be a quality issue. They'll go, hang on a minute, maybe it's not the injuries, it's the quality as well. And I think it is a bit of both. With this season against Everton, December times, we had Saka and Odegaard available. We still couldn't break them down. So then what's the
Low
issue?
blocks is still a kryptonite for us.
What's the issue there? Exactly. The issue is that maybe it's system and tactics as well, but certain profiles we lack. Ball carriers in the final third. Apart from Ethan breaking through, Miles breaking through, which player can you expect to pick the ball up and beat his man consistently?
We're quite predictable in that regards. Like I like it from Arteta in a degree that we're very scripted and you know what we're going to do, but we need a bit of randomness now, and a lot more. A lot of our issues are in the final third. If I'm completely honest with you, let me ask you this then: like a lot of Arsenal fans. Fair enough. The last 2 years prior to this year, like forget this year for a sec. It was like, okay, we fight in City. They're great. If City ever fall off, we're going to be the ones to do this thing. Obviously, City have fallen off. People said Liverpool are in a transitional period, and you know, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. But at the end of the day, they've won the league, and we're doing a lot of explaining. Like, how does it change your mindset that we didn't do that? Like, we weren't the ones to pounce if City fall off and Liverpool have won it. And there is reasons for this, but fundamentally, it's 3 years of explaining. And I think we've been good over the, not so much this year, but we've been quote unquote good enough to win at least one of these last 3 Premier League trophies, or definitely not be 12, 13, 14, 15 points behind Liverpool at this moment. But where are you at with that?
Thing is, a lot of things I see online is very black and white, right? Okay, we've been bad, it's an awful season, or it's like, okay, we've done amazing and we're lucky to even be second in the first place. Things are a balance in between, like there always in life. What I like out of the season is the fact that even though we've had some injuries, our floor has been second. We've never been in a top 4 battle. We've always remained there and thereabouts.
First world problems now.
The issue I have is the 10 draws. Those 10 draws now, that's what I'm looking towards next season. In those games, we're talking Fulham away, Everton at home, games like
Aston
that.
Villa at home, 2-0
up. But I think mainly Everton and Fulham, games that you couldn't go and break them down again. We had to rely on set pieces as an example against Fulham.
We're so good against the top 6 and then do this.
In those games there, even last year happened against West Ham as well. West Ham and Fulham and Villa.
Same old things, really.
Yeah, so what we need to do now going forwards is in those games there, it was the same problem we had last season. It was the low blocks. It was tight spaces, lack of innovation, predictability in the final third. How do you address that? Now, if we had, in the game against United in the FA Cup and Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, I could say, yeah, if we had an Isak, you win those games.
Individual brilliance nicks it for us. We get away with it.
We had the chances to win those games. The issue in the Everton-Fulham game is we didn't make chances. That's where I've seen too often, and that's the most boring type of football you can watch. You can have a game where you miss chances, you go, okay, at least we had chances to win this game. But in Everton and Fulham, we had next to nothing. It was just pass.
U-shape.
And that was it. And I think that's where we need to improve going forwards. That's where City have had the quality of KDB and Haaland. KDB can fire a ball in behind, and Haaland can go and score. Liverpool have a Trent and Salah. Players that can fire balls in behind and moments can be provided as well. We need to do that more often. Saka can do it. Saka will do it going forwards, but I want to have another player alongside him. As I said, City have KDB and Haaland.
Liverpool need a few of them.
Salah. We have just Bukayo Saka. Odegaard can produce a little moment here and there, but it's more little flicking behind. I'm talking, what about the penetrating passes in behind that ask questions of defenses that they can't answer? And we don't have enough of those players. It was meant to be Fabio Vieira, to be honest. He's a player who
But
does that
never,
quite
it didn't
often.
work out.
But his profile didn't work out on paper. That's what it is. So I think next season, that's what I'm looking towards.
What are you saying for Zubimendi? Apparently, Real Madrid are now pushing for Martin Zubimendi. I always say whether he's getting hijacked by Real Madrid, staying at Sociedad, going to another club, or signing for Arsenal, what is being reported at any climate and what's actually going on in the footballing world, we don't know. But we did hear in January, Jason Ito is dotting I's and crossing T's. And you cover a lot of the transfers. We get linked with a bunch of names. And then it kind of hones down on one, in this case, Zubimendi, where it's like, we're going to get, to be fair, Ornstein, all these guys didn't say this, but we're going to get him. We're going to get him. What do you make of Real Madrid potentially poaching him? And what does that mean?
What I find a bit funny, though, is prior to this links and seeing him play in a few games against United and for Spain, his ratings kind of went down. People were going, maybe
And
he's
now
not as
people
special as we
crying.
thought he was. And now people go, Real Madrid are after him. Hang on a minute. Now I want him. It's like that girl that you want.
Yeah.
Wasn't in demand, but now she's in demand. Okay, now I want her.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that's what it is with Zubimendi. Right now, fans are seeing that link. And look, if Madrid wants you, when you've got Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, you've got to be a very, very, very good player. So that's what Zubimendi is. There's a reason why Liverpool wanted him, Arsenal wanted him, Man City wanted him as
Several
well.
clubs.
Several clubs want him. Real Madrid
Even
want him.
Leverkusen.
I do feel like though we've done a lot of work. The issue I have is a club that are after him are in Spain. I think that could play a part. And obviously it's Real Madrid as well. Not to mention that, but the fact that it's in Spain, staying in his home country in terms of adjustment as well. Players that are from Sociedad, we saw it with Liverpool. He didn't want to go there. So I feel like it could play a part in the summer. But there's options in the market. Bruno Guimaraes is another one. If Newcastle go Champions League,
we have to
release
pivot.
clause potentially there. Adam Walton's another one as well. There's players out there that Arsenal could look towards. But I think one midfielder won't be enough. If you're letting go over Jorginho and Partey, that's two experienced players that play minutes going out. If you just sign one, you're in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble. Unless you have plans to play Miles at left central midfielder and things like that, you're going to have to sign another one. And if it's an experienced one on loan, I don't mind. You just have to vacate Jorginho's role. That's what it is. A player that won't play every single game, but when he comes in, can have an impact. It's hard to find, though, because realistically, you just want Jorginho to stay. Because what he does for his role, it's kind of perfect. Does a job behind the scenes, comes in, does his job, and that's about it.
Facts. I wanted him to stay apparently, but he's been talking with Brazilians.
Well, but he's too good of a player not to start at other clubs. Maybe not.
And he deserves it in his career to seek something like one last little hoorah or whatever.
Go to Brazil, go to his home country. Could help out.
Chill off, enjoy carnival, just relax.
Exactly.
He's earned that. So then, my last question for you, then, would be like, how do you feel about Arsenal in the summer? Because obviously this year is different because of the injuries and it feels like a missed opportunity. But I do think a lot of the talking points are the same in that we need to have a summer that uplifts our starting 11. We need to look after the depth. There's several question marks over the Sakas, the Salibas, the Gabriels, and signing them to new deals. Me and you have just spoken about a couple of players, and we do. Well, you're the king of the editing stuff, but we do similar content in that we cover the transfer. So we're linked with a bunch of names. And there's talk about a rebuild. Like, how vital is this summer, and how much confidence do you have in Berta to address these areas? Or even if it's not just Berta, everybody at the club.
This summer is, we will say it's decisive, isn't it? But I think
most
even
important
more
transfer window.
Yeah, it always is. Everywhere, because there's the drama going into it. Because you want more, you think this the window's going to solve everything.
I got YouTube
I don't think it's as
titles
simple
with
as that. Yeah, of course. But in terms of watching football and how it's planned out over the last few years, making more signings doesn't always improve you. Look at Chelsea is the best example. Making a lot of changes can disrupt the entire team's flow. But I feel like we need to add quality. And obviously seeing how our current players improve as well, because Odegaard will get better in my eyes, and likewise Bukayo, likewise Saliba, likewise Gabriel. Those players, with those being younger as well, will improve naturally. But I want to see Mikel adapt as well. Have a bit more freedom in the final third. Learn from Liverpool maybe, and how they have runs in behind.
Evolve the system, as Arteta says.
They're all ball to feet. They're more in behind, and that's why they score more goals, make more chances. They concede more, so it's about finding a balance. And it's very hard to, the idea is create the most chances because he the least amount. We did it maybe for a period of time last season, from around, was it February time onwards?
Second half of the season, yeah.
That was perfect. Of course it was. But football, you have to adapt and change. And I think just from a football point of view, we watch football as fans, but also as entertainment. It's almost our Netflix. We aren't entertaining to watch this season. It's a hard watch. Even games we win, by the way. We can win 3-0 and fight and still be boring because we're too focused on controlling the game.
Fans are falling asleep.
But for Mikel Arteta, I think his philosophy is all about, what I'm learning more and more about it, is he wants to just know everything happening before it's actually happened. I think one of Xhaka's first in the interviews
in a good way
is talking exactly, because for him it's about, if I create a certain amount of XG per game, surely with the how it evens out,
It's like
I'm
winning a
gonna score
boxing
the
match on
goals
points.
to win the title. He's planning it beforehand. It's all on paper. And even but that's what Arsenal do though, is we have games where we don't score goals from XG that's very high, but then we cash in 6-0, 5-0, 6-0, 5-0. But it means nothing, you don't win a title. So I think that's
Exactly.
where next year it's about learning, and he learns. He's more smart than all of us in terms of football by 100 miles. So we have to let him and trust him. But for me, what I want to see more, I want to see Andrea Berta come in and take over, put over Mikel. Not because I think he's better than him in terms of coaching, of course not. But I think as a club, you have to be more than just a manager. I don't want to be in a situation where you saw United with Ferguson as an example, where they had the guy
Wenger
as
as
the
well.
main man. He goes, and Wenger as Arsenal. They go, the entire club collapses. You look at Liverpool, where they have Michael Edwards. He came back in, replaced Klopp with Slot, and they won another title. Because you have someone above that can stay 10, 20, 30 years versus managers that might say 5, 10. So for me, it's about Andrea Berta stamping his authority, becoming the main guy at Arsenal, and just seeing the philosophy through. So if Mikel isn't the guy next season, then you can go with the players that you have available and the profiles that we've signed. He knows what manager to go and get.
You alluded to it, and that'll be my last question. Like, if Arteta don't get over the line next year, is it time to potentially think about
Oh yeah,
trying something different?
yeah. I think it'll be too long. I think it'll be too long. I think next year it's either a title or not, because you would have competed for 2 years. This year I don't really count as competing, to be honest. But you could
It's
say it because you're
progression or
second,
stagnation at the very
right?
kindest.
Exactly. But years prior, I think the issue is for Mikel, in a sense, it's become an issue. 22, 23, we bounced out of nowhere. If we just got top four in that year and not fought for a title, then fought for a title last year, this year might have been more patience. But you've been edging fans' pause for 3 years. 3 years. You're good. It's coming, right? Well, it's gonna happen.
The
And then you
project's
go
gonna
this
bang, man.
season. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like this year didn't work out. And I think that's why everyone expected this year to be the year. We're giving a bit of excuses, a bit of bias. We're being a bit too nice, maybe, as well. But I think Mikel deserves a bit more grace for what he's produced us. And I don't forget 2019, 18 before that. I was in the pain there. We were trying to
He's
just
in the
be in the
trenches.
fighting. We were fighting to be in the
Marie and
big
Holding was our
six.
best centre half pairing once upon a
People were
time.
asking us if Arsenal are a big club again. So if a
It's
guy's
first
spoke
world
about my
problems
club,
now, as I said.
yeah, they were asking questions of should Arsenal be in the big six? Leicester, have they overtaken us? So I've
Oh my!
seen,
Don't get me
yeah,
started on that. When
I've
I
seen
know the
that.
graphic with
So
the Leicester
so
and
maybe
Spurs
if I give my
guys, yeah.
manager more grace, there's a reason behind that as well. Because the way I see football, right? I'll be honest with you right now. I find it very hard to critique people that are more professionals of the game that are miles better than what I am. So if I call a player shit, how can I call him shit? The guy's a pro footballer. If you put any of us in a scenario, we struggle. I'm talking tap-ins, by the way, penalties. And we're going, yeah, nah, he's awful, get him out. Ah, come on, man. We're just
Well,
here to
my
watch,
granddad could score
consume.
those chances, or my nan could
Yeah,
score
no,
those
no.
chances.
We
Like
we
that's
can't
the
do it
sort of talk
ourselves.
that's
We'd
that's
struggle
said.
consistently. Like obviously recently I was lucky enough to go again to the training ground, right? And what you learn straight away is obviously footballers get paid a lot of money. Cool, that's amazing. But they have to commit every single day at a certain time. They get no holidays. You see, with people that have normal work, as an example, weekends off. They're playing on the
But they get
weekends.
paid money, Bavs, as some would say.
Of course, money gets paid, but we're using it.
I
We're
just think
using it
that that's a
because you
lazy
got
kind of
training.
rhetoric when people
You
say that.
got nowadays these players get monitored like insane heartbeats, body fat, everything, right? So your sleeps get monitored as well. So you have to sleep on time. You
Yeah,
can't stay up too late, right? So where's your escape?
sugar and
Training,
whatnot as
sleep,
well.
training, sleep, training, sleep. And if you're a top player, you got no break in the summer because you got the World Cup or the Euros. You got the Champions League during the season. You got the Premier League as well. Weekends are booked as well. So if I see a player going out, brother, go out. Enjoy yourself. Go on your nights out, enjoy it. 'Cause I know for a fact, just giving even half a perspective of it, it's nowhere near as easy as we think it is. And there's a reason why they get paid so much. It's because they make it. If we don't watch the
Exactly.
game, if we don't watch the game and the money's not in the game, they're not making that level of money.
They're the ones that deserve it, if anything. With all the money in the game, I know
It's a
footballers are
lot
the
of
easy
commitment.
target because they're the ones we see. But as you said there, if all of these guys say we're not playing football no more, we have nothing to talk about. I appreciate Mikel Arteta for what he's done for the football club, like everybody else. But I am at that stage now, in the same way Ramsdale did well for us, Tini did well for us. It was, you did your thing. Now it's about going forward. Mikel Arteta, you have to get over the line because I do think you're a good coach, do think you're a good manager. But I only selfishly care if you do it at Arsenal. I don't really care how far you're going to go in the game. I wish you all the
100%.
best. Babs, this has been amazing, man. I appreciate you because whenever I shout you do your utmost best to make it happen, man. Not that I can imagine they don't know, but it's customary on my platform. Let people know where they can find you, bro.
Perhaps 14 on YouTube. Back on the grind, posting more consistently. So in previous times I've been on here, I've been like, I might post tomorrow. Videos are coming out. So there's a reason.
Mr. Mur, as they call him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Crazy criminal ratings, but that's like football. It's subjective. Babs, I'm gonna let you get out of here. Appreciate you, my guy.
Bro.
I'm sure you lot have agreed and disagreed with a lot of what we said. Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button, and yeah, let's keep making great content. And come on, you Gunners, man. Done, no, my guy. Safe.
Like